What's going on? Whoa. Hey, Mike Trim here with Ashleigh Walters.
Good morning.
Fresh off our new studio debut for the Monday morning, right?
So great.
Gold medal win in there, I tell you what.
Yeah, we were all dressed in red, white, and blue just by chance.
Inadvertently.
So perfect. Team USA all the way.
You know what? Leading into this, we want to talk to you about the Tokyo Olympics, how you all are enjoying them. Let's start the conversation this morning. Let's update you. Let's bring you up with some hot topics and let's just chat and have a good time. I love the Olympics. I've watched it since I was a little kid. Like all in the Summer Olympics were always my favorite.
Yeah. In fact, growing up, I lived in Los Angeles as a little girl, and one of my friends or our family friend got to carry the torch. There are pictures of us like Los Angeles Olympics. It was a big, long time ago. But no, it's exciting every time, and I feel like this year we've been waiting 3 years for it to get here.
Yeah, no doubt about it, and the athletes have as well, and they've shown it. And there have been many successes, a few stumbles along the way. We're going to talk about that, but we want to bring you up to date on the latest. So, spoiler alerts if this is going to be on later, I don't know, but let's talk about right away. Hey, from Portugal. All right, Alexei, first person in, right? First person in. Hey, want to tell you, Katie Ledecky, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Superstar swimmer, coming off that loss this weekend, like a rare loss where she got silver. She just set an Olympic record in the 1,500-meter freestyle this morning in her heat. So still have yet to go to that final, but cooked the competition.
I mean, when you watch the swimmers too, it's like such mere just tiny bits of a second that can, that finger touch that can just completely change the whole game. But to come off of that and then to win and set a record, no less.
Yeah. And boy, I just remember the last Olympics compared to this one with Ledecky. Just you would watch, be like, is she practicing? Oh no, she's that far ahead. She was a length of a pool.
Michael Phelps this morning on the Today Show was talking about how he's like, I miss the water. It's like my home. But there are also some of these competitions that are so fast right now that it's like, maybe I don't completely envy that. It's just hard. I mean, that's just incredible to set any kind of record at this point.
I'm not going to lie. I was waiting for like some kind of wrestling music to play. And then Michael Phelps walk in like, he's going to go to Tokyo. Oh my gosh. But we can dream, right?
We have some great comments going on here. A lot of you say loving the games, love women volleyball and gymnastics. Sharon says love from Portugal.
We're going to talk about the gymnastics in just a bit. The other new thing that happened this morning, women's 3-on-3 basketball. So first of all, love this competition that's new in the Olympics. They're undefeated right now. Stayed 6-0. They beat China today. First team to 21, just like old school on the court basketball. They beat them. And moving forward, so hopefully they can bring in the gold. If you haven't watched the 3-on-3 basketball, it's like playground rules. Like you take it back out if you get the rebound. You know what I mean?
And you're going to be in really good shape, and it's extremely fast paced. Which is just so impressive and fun.
Just remember playing so much and be like, they get the rebound, somebody would shoot it back for you. You're like, you got to take it out, man. What are you doing? You got to take it out. You get to 21, but if you got to win by 2. Right. Anyway, you get it, right?
Basketball was never my sport growing up. I don't know about all of you. It's good. No, you gotta like those driveway or like after school things kind of make you think differently.
We play make it take it. You make a basket, you keep it. So like you got to stop the person defensively to get the ball back. Anyway, so there you have it. We want to talk about there are South Florida connections with these Olympics. So right here from the Palm Beaches and Treasure Coast, we have 4 athletes that are representing Team USA at various stages of what we're doing now. And the first one we talk about is Jessica Ramsey from Boynton Beach.
Yes.
Shot putter. Amazing.
You found pictures she posted of childhood in Boynton Beach. And then pictures fast forward to today.
It's like how it started, how's it going now?
Cool, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to bring it up. So she competes Friday in the shot put, the prelim round. So here's that. Here's her as a youngster in Boynton Beach, and then I do that. But then, bam, there she was setting a meet record at the trials. Okay, so we're very proud of Jessica. Hope you can cheer her on as well.
Wild sport.
Oh my gosh, and it takes so much the steps have to be perfect. You know, the exact form, coordination,
the balance,
and the sheer strength. How about Luke Muller? Okay, Fort Pierce native, grew up sailing around here out of Fort Lauderdale as well. Went to Stanford, and he is. I want to show you his Instagram post as well.
This is incredible.
First of all, the view he has. Can we get in on Olympic Village here? One more sleep. So he's competing tomorrow in sailing. Luke Muller from Fort Pierce. Really following him on Instagram. It's really, really personal way to do that. Personal favorite. I really want him to do well. Palm Beach County native, Jupiter, Zion Wright, and skateboarding. How cool is it that skateboarding is an Olympic sport?
Now. I mean, and of course it should be when you actually, if you watch these guys, I mean, the balance and the core strength, I mean, there's just so much going on. It's awesome to see these new sports in the Olympics this year. So yeah, we'd love to see a hometown boy take it.
And so Zion was not in the opening ceremonies. He along with other team members, they posted this less than 24 hours ago. Second test down. Now we wait to fly. So they're still, getting cleared for their COVID regulations and getting in there, which has been
quite a journey to get over there.
It's a journey, and they have to, rightfully so, test every day, and it's just like, it has to be so annoying but necessary.
Yeah. Can you imagine like the jet lag and all of the transitions, and then you're also competing most of these sports without a crowd, without the cheering that you have seen every time. Get. I know, just like the mental part of it has to be a little different this year, I would think.
Yep. So Chelsea Wolf, by the way, Chelsea Wolf from Lake Park is representing the BMX team USA.
Another amazing addition.
Right? You figure like you get to be Olympic level or like alternate, but you have to be so good to get to that point.
Oh my God.
So, hey, if anybody is injured, Chelsea Wolf going to step right in and hopefully win it all, win for the gold.
Oh yeah, it would be amazing to see one of our local ones.
Can we talk gold? I like gold. All right. How about Caleb Dressel? For all you Gator fans out there, I know we have some pictures of that moment yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Some of these first of all, the photography, like when we'll bring this up right here, but like look at the expressions on the faces.
Yep.
These moments in time.
So Caleb Dressel helping Team USA win that 4x100 meter freestyle to gold, and awesome moment, right? Awesome. Did you watch it? We want to hear from you, by the way, on this Facebook Live StreamYard. We're bringing you into the conversation about this competition, swimming away with gold. You see that right there? Yeah. We think it, and it just pops up down there.
There's nobody helping us out with any of that.
No, it's just ESP. I don't know.
Yeah. But, it's something that always impresses me every year. And, with any of these athletes, you see the types of bodies that are really good at certain sports. And I really see it in the opening ceremonies where they're all walking together and like somebody who's, 4'11" next to somebody who's like 6'3", and like just the differences in the human form.
Sharon, you are right. That was amazing. That was awesome. Okay. Hopefully we will be talking about describing the women's gymnastics team by the end of these Olympics.
All right. So of course everybody always expects, like lately, especially like Team USA is going to be like the runaway favorite, right? So they've struggled a little bit. And that includes Simone Biles, team captain, who has said, in her post too, and I can pull some of that up. But she feels kind of like the weight of the world is on her shoulders. She's been posting pictures like this along the way, and also, if I can take you to her Instagram stories, this is where she says "fresh start." Okay. But it's also where, this is her team. But see these pictures, the moments of her face. Because she missed some really important moments there. Stepping out of bounds, for example, on her floor routine, that wasn't good.
You usually don't see that from her.
No, I mean the precision, and the vault as well struggled there a little bit. So this is actually the first time for Team USA Gymnastics since 2010 they didn't get that top cumulative score in qualifying in the Olympics and the World Championships. So in 11 years' time, she's she's still ranks number 1 right now, and there is still chance for gold. Again, these were the qualifying rounds, but it's kind of tough for Simone Biles, 24 years old now. I also just think, and there she is.
Yeah, there's some of the disappointment from this weekend, but
you could feel it.
You're hey, better to end well. You're only as good as your last routine, right? Than, hey, what if she knocked it out of the park and then just totally didn't do well in the finals of the competition. So now is when it matters. I mean, the pressure was on then. It's really on now.
Yeah, so much pressure. I just have to mention, too, somebody who I've been watching through the years. Yeah. There's from Uzbekistan, Oksana Chusovitina is 46 years old. Narrowly missed the qualifying. 46. This is her 8th Olympics, world's oldest to ever compete in the Olympics in gymnastics. Her first was back in 1992, 5 years before Simone Biles was even born. Whoa. I mean, how amazing is that? Her son is now 22 years old. She said, she'd originally planned to retire in 2012, but this was the year. So there were a lot of tears shed as she just narrowly missed for Uzbekistan. But I just thought, wow, 46.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing.
That is not your average Olympic age. Okay, but competing at that level. Can I just give a shout out to Francisco saying hello to you, Francisco. Welcome to everybody joining us talking about the Tokyo Olympics and what's happening today. Our producer, I will throw you for a loop in however long it takes to bring up and find a picture. So the German women's gymnastics team taking a stand. A lot of people talking about this on social media all weekend, wearing unitards rather than leotards. And the thought process behind that is, hey, if the men can wear this like this, so can the women, right?
There's been a lot of conversation over the sexualization or how revealing different outfits are. I know we talked about it with volleyball as well was another one. Some of these outfits, some of the ways that people are taking a stand, using as an opportunity, a platform. We're curious to know what you all think of that, not only with the clothing, but also some of the moves, with a Black Lives Matter protest actually on the gymnastics floor from one athlete.
So these were the pictures when they were wearing the leotards, but they were in fact wearing this weekend the full body unitards. I'm not overall familiar with that, with gymnastics and the uniforms, but when you see it, you understand. Yeah,
typically this is very common. This is what we'd see. So that is a very big difference. So I'm curious to know what people think of that and what could change. So the swim caps, that was another conversation over whether the swim caps should allow for larger hair or an afro, and so big conversations. Interesting.
This entire Olympics is you just get the feel that the athletes are having more of a voice and using their own voice and platforms, still respectfully while respecting their countries. And, there's still a lot of games to be played, so we could see how that pans out as well. What do you think of it? That's what we want to know. That's why we brought you into the conversation. We could bring in, let's bring in Tawana, our friend Tawana. Loving the Olympics. I'm tired today. Join the club. No, wanted to watch. Hey, we hope you get to watch. What's your favorite event? Huh?
I know, and that's the thing. It's like if you get into it and you're watching, and like the time is taken away, and you're like, but it's so exciting, and I can't wait to find out what happens. I gotta watch it right now. And some of these things are being replayed at different times, but others you just want to see it right then. So I totally get you on that.
maybe you saw it this weekend. Team USA softball. They're going to play for the gold. They won in dramatic fashion, walk-off fashion to end the game, and now they're going to play Japan in Japan for the gold. Okay, USA softball still undefeated, and the thing is, people are like, what do you mean are playing for the gold? And they started earlier than the opening ceremonies. So, and here we go with Team USA rocking it, doing their obviously within the team, the kind of things, but they've dominated.
I mean, the facial expressions literally in these still pictures every time. It was pretty awesome. No, but that's how exciting is that, just to qualify and be now you have the potential to win gold. Like, how do you sleep? How do you come down and mentally prepare and
one right after the other.
Think about that.
Well, okay. So you have USA softball, right?
Yeah.
You also have, there's so many sports to keep track of.
Oh my God.
And there's been gold winners in shooting sports as well for the United States. USA Rugby men's team.
How about that?
Rugby Rolls On.
Rugby, by the way, in life, I mean, it is one of the most like brutal, fast-paced, like just tough, like gritty. Oh my gosh.
And USA after beating Ireland, and they had notched another win as well. They're gonna take on South Africa, and that they are a powerhouse in rugby. So
it's a good word, powerhouse.
Yeah, I would say so. Hopefully we don't get powered over, but hey, USA putting their best foot forward, best tackle forward, best steamroll over for rugby up until this point.
By the way, Sharon saying thank God for DVR.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
You gotta if you're gonna be able to go to bed or miss something during work, there's just way too much in this couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to miss it.
Here, I like to call it DVR discipline. Okay. And the thing is when you go to work, you kind of have to announce, I didn't watch this yet. Don't say anything to me. I don't want to know anything about it because I DVR'd it. And you'll always have one person be like, yeah, but I was like, don't even react. I don't even want to see your face because I'm going to be thinking about how I'm interpreting that all day.
I know.
We've done that before.
You got to have a conversation with your spouse too. We're not watching that until this time. Correct. You're not going to catch up and then slip any of that to me. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Then your neighbor walks by. Oh man, you see such and such one? Be like, I have spent 10 hours today avoiding these conversations. You just ruined it for me. Oh man.
I mean, and the spoiler, totally. Oh my gosh. And then men's basketball. I mean, talking about oh my
it's so frustrating. So Team USA men's basketball lost to France over the weekend. That's their first loss in Olympic play since 2004. Remember 2004, they won the bronze medal. Then you had 2008 was the redeemed team with LeBron, Kobe, and squad, just steamrolled everybody. And they've pretty much been on that course since, as we're going to see some still. That's kind of the thought. Right now, I mean, all-world Kevin Durant playing for Team USA along with Damian Lillard. They have the squad. It's just the international game has caught up so much. And, LeBron's not playing this Olympics. There's other superstars that aren't taking part. They're gassed from a NBA season where it was stop and go. And then, with COVID restrictions and the finals were late and then that butted up to the season. So a lot of these players are gassed that were playing in the NBA, that's
a good point.
France, by the way, France had the defensive player of the year for the Utah Jazz, Rudy Gobert. So they're not schlubs they're playing either. No. They're pretty good. So I'm hoping they can rebound, pun intended, little basketball pun for you. There is, there's a member of Team USA right there. Just, it doesn't feel good to lose, but you know what I mean? Basketball, you're only as good as your last game as well.
And, you brought up a few important points because all of these teams have, different things they've been involved with, different members. And then you have COVID. And in some of these sports, we've seen how, unfortunately, testing positive might yank somebody out at the very last minute. And they've been preparing, they were ready last year. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's just, that is a whole nother element of uncertainty. And
can I still just say how, disappointed and for the family, for the fans of Coco Gauff that she wasn't able to compete in this because of a COVID test. It was positive, and obviously she was devastated. But you know what? 17 years old, it's going to have some more opportunities.
Our whole South Florida community, again, rooting for her as we are other Olympians.
Absolutely.
It's so disappointing. And, you might not have had any symptoms. You might, and then on top of it too, the athletes who are there competing and their families can't be on the sidelines. They're having to cheer from back home in Team USA.
And listen, you know what I mean? Like, you went through youth sports. I did as well. I'm a dad that had kids in youth sports, and not trying to make it selfishly about the parents. I get what you're saying, but
but they've been waiting for this too.
The parents that have given their blood, sweat, and tears and time their whole lives so their kids can just have the opportunity with their talents to get to that level, to not be able to see that in person. That's tough. But the silver lining is they're having the games. Their kids are able to compete. You know what I mean? And they're able to hopefully bring home the gold and have that moment. And gosh, there's so many more moments. Surfing, by the way, is still happening. And I was talking with James Whelan,
our surfing
weatherman, you know, locally, grew up here, you know, surfed his whole life. American John, okay, that's how he's known, was knocked out by a fellow American. But they were put together so close together in one of the preliminary rounds, in one of the qualifying rounds, and people didn't like how they matched them up together. Mm-hmm. So, sorry, Kahole is his first name, Andrino, knocked out John. So there's two surfing men on Team USA. So one's knocked out. That's moving forward. I know James is really keeping track of that, but he's been updating me and everything. And skateboarding as well. We expect the park competition to happen a little later this week. Yeah. And hopefully bring home some gold there.
I mean, you know, it's interesting actually when we look at the different sports. I feel like there are certain sports I don't watch until it's the next Olympics, you know, and then you kind of like relearn the things. With gymnastics, the different events for the men and the women are somewhat different. Mm-hmm. And so that's just some of those nuances are just kind of interesting. For example, the men with gymnastics, the floor exercises, pommel horse, still rings, vault, parallel bars, horizontal bar, individual, all around. Like you have so many things. And then women, floor exercise, vault, uneven bars, balance beam, individual, all around. Mm-hmm. So there are some things that the men will do, the women will not.
Okay, so the rings?
Yeah, the rings where they're like holding. I mean, can you imagine the strength that it takes?
If anybody's been to certain kind of gyms that do that, and you know, you try to do what's called a muscle up, right? And you look at that and they make it look so easy.
Oh, and it's so steady and smooth.
That takes so much strength to just rock and get yourself up like that.
Like swinging around.
Like people work for months, for a year on that at a gym, and it's hard to do. But just to get yourself up, and they're just, you know, just sleeping so much.
Yeah, we talk so much though about the women because they are like your greatest of all time, Simone Biles again. Mm-hmm. But the men also are it's a fascinating different take on it. And I don't know, there's those nuances in the Olympics that I just get excited for each round.
You see these things, you're like, I think I could do that now.
No, not so much. Yeah, your arms would quite rip out of your body.
Yeah. Hey, so listen, folks, you know, get in this comment section. We're going to do this during the Olympics. We're going to update you on our local Olympians from the Palm Beaches and Treasure Coast, and we're going to give you the latest before we come in here in the mornings. Of course, watch WPTV News Channel 5 in the morning, 4:30 to 7 a.m. And make sure we'll give you the latest here. Then we'll kind of recap it here. We'll talk about fun stuff too.
Or let's get that medal count before we do tune out, because I know that everybody's like wondering, okay, where does Team USA as a whole
I love the medal
count? Yeah. So it's always like, okay, where are we doing? Okay.
So this was as of this morning.
Yep. Okay. China's in the lead. The total. Okay. So
I like to see us with 4 golds though. Keep in mind, track and field hasn't ran yet. And there are a lot of things to play out with swimming as well.
Absolutely. So there's a lot of ground to cover still to come. But
a lot of people asking, hey, how can I watch the Olympics? What's the hey, Christopher, we could pop his. Hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for taking part. And as far as when you can watch the Olympics, you can kind of see that down here. You can go to WPTV.com. We have a special Olympics section, and because there's many viewing options. We encourage you to watch WPTV News Channel 5 first and foremost. But if you'd like to see how you can catch your favorite event, all spelled out for you on our website, easy to find.
It helps because there is kind of a lot to keep track of, and a lot of them are happening at the same time. So it's like, where's that going to be broadcast?
Bam. Okay, so let's scroll through it. This is our Olympic section. Everything. Here's that rugby story we were talking about. Boy, we are that protest you were talking about.
Black Lives Matter, the gymnast.
Mm-hmm. Here's the unitard story that we were talking about. So hey, if you missed any of that, if you want to get a little more in depth, if you want to just read about the Olympics and get caught up, go to WPTV.com, that special section for our Olympics.
Awesome.
Hey, this was fun.
Hey, yes, it was. Go USA, Team USA.
All right. So, hey, we'll see you back again tomorrow, and we'll talk about it. And whether it's me, Ashleigh, the both of us, or somebody, we're here to start the conversation with you, and we're glad you joined in today. We'll see you later.
Bye-bye.